Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, California Weather Watch. Today is May 4th. May the 4th be with you. Taking a look at the visible satellite imagery, you can clearly see the storm system here moving down across the Pacific Ocean and now making landfall in California. We've got some heavy rainfall out there at times coming across the region. We got some moderate rainfall across the Bay Area right now, and you can actually still see the low clouds across Southern California there as well, and some nice sunshine for the interior areas. But the storm is definitely on its way. Big temperature drops, some gusty winds with this, some mountain snow, some wave action up and down the coastline as well. It's like we're continuing winter a little bit on in through the early portion of May here, but things are going to change after the storm rolls through. We're going to start to warm up as we go through the following week. We'll dive into all these details as we go through the video here this morning. Taking a look at the GOES 18 satellite imagery again with the infrared satellite imagery here. I believe I'm showing it's actually the visible satellite imagery. You can see it got a narrow cold frontal rain band. Check it out. Some brief bouts of heavy rain out there. Can't rule out a thunderstorm or two as well for some of the areas, especially north. And taking a look at Medford, Oregon, National Weather Service does cover portions of Northern California. You can see Mount Shasta up towards 1.4 inches of rain. Happy Camp Alturas, even getting some rainfall on Lakeview out there as well. And taking a look at the maps, we got wind advisories, we got high wind warnings, we got winter storm warnings, we got frost and freeze warnings out there. And, it's looking a little bit like that fruitcake color here across the Southwest. So you know something is going on, and that storm system is what it is. So taking a look here at the thunderstorm chance today, just north of Sacramento for the most part. And they even talk about the possibility of some funnel cloud action out there. So eyes on the sky. You see Yuba City, Chico, and Redding are included in those thunderstorm chances, as well as some of the coastal areas up north. Taking a look at the heavy to moderate to heavy mountain snowfall this weekend. Check it out, 6 to 15 inches above 5,000 feet. And you can see the winter storm warning here in pink, and you got winter weather advisories in the purple here. So yeah, it's going to be difficult travel up there. Wind gusts to 50 miles per hour. Travel delays are likely, train controls are likely, potential road closures. This is like winter time up there, so be careful if you're trying to travel. And it is a weekend, Saturday into Sunday morning here. So definitely check before you go to make sure the roads are open, and you might want to put off your travel until we get in towards next week, until we warm up. And if you look across some of the higher terrain here, look at this 18 to 24 inches over the highest peaks, and 2 to 6 inches all the way down to 4,000 feet. That's easily going to cover a lot of the backcountry roadways, especially I-80 and some of the passes back and forth are going to be dealing with those winter driving conditions. And this is Reno National Weather Service. Again, you can see all the crazy colors out there. You got lake wind advisories, high wind warnings, wind advisories, winter weather advisories, winter storm warnings, and there's going to be some near zero visibility. And this is probably ongoing as we speak. Again, watch out if you plan on traveling back and forth across I-80. Could easily close down for a period. And this is winter storm warning here as we get a little bit further south. Snowfall 6 to 12 inches from 6,000 to 7,000 feet, and 12 to 18 above 7,000 feet. You can see it does include some areas of Devil's Postpile, Cedar Grove, Lodgepole out there, for example. Now, taking a look at the wind gusts also, you can see the grapevine is going to get a bit gusty here as well. And some of the higher terrain especially, you can see gusts up to 70 miles per hour. They talk about 65 mile per hour gusts here. And this goes all the way through Sunday evening here. So watch out, big rigs across the desert areas as we go through this afternoon and on in through Sunday. Taking a look at we're going to cool things down across Southern California, but we're not bringing a huge amount of rainfall. This is not a big flooding event by any means. Just a few hundredths of an inch for lower elevations, a little bit more precipitation for some of the higher terrain here as well, and some gusty winds also. And this is San Diego. Again, not too much in the way of rainfall for some of the lower elevations, but you may notice it out there in your nose. So it's cool temperatures rolling in, but you can see some of the higher amounts across the higher terrain. And maybe some of the very highest peaks out there might get a little bit of snow out of this system also. So if we take a look at the European as of last night, you can clearly see at 500 millibars, 18,000 feet, this is the storm system right there as we roll through Sunday morning, swinging down across the western portions of the USA. One more impulse here, and then we really start to do some ridge building here. This is really going to extend all the way up across the Pacific Northwest. You can kind of see this trough hanging back here, so it's not going to allow us to warm up extremely so, but we are definitely going to warm up from where we are today and tomorrow. If we scroll off into the future here, let's look and see what Fantasyland has in store with us. You can kind of see this troughing out here, and again, another ridge through the extended forecast up across Pacific Northwest. We'll see how that trends. Plenty of time to worry about that. Taking a look at the European as of last night, and you can see this is about where we are this morning. And again, some moderate rainfall coming down across the Bay Area, the Central Coast. And you can see it does start to lose its punch by the time it gets towards Southern California, maybe a few hundredths of an inch, tenth of an inch of rain or so for the lower elevations. Better for the higher amounts. And you can see some of the desert areas get skunked, but maybe even a little bit of precip trying to sneak its way down towards Las Vegas. Not much for Arizona, as you can see out of this system here coming up. Now, taking a look at 850 millibars, 5,000 feet above us, you can see this very cold air mass. So this is as we're going into tomorrow morning. You can see it firmly entrenched here over the southwest. Hangs out for a bit as we go through Monday and on in through Tuesday here, but then you can clearly see the anticyclonic flow here. That is denoting where the ridge position is. And you can kind of see the cooler air aloft still hangs out a bit as we go through the end of next week. But we could, in turn, get some offshore flow here and start to kick off, some of these Diablo winds or maybe some Santa Ana winds. Not looking like a huge event right now, but we're going to be watching it closely here over the next few days. We definitely have the chance for it. And taking a look at that 925 millibars, this is just off the surface at 2,500 feet. You'll see the strong winds rolling across the area as we go through today and this afternoon, especially desert areas, higher terrain, coastal areas as well, across the deserts. And then as we scroll through Sunday, the system finally kicking out of here by the time we go towards Monday. But then we might start to turn things offshore a bit here. And this would probably be what it's this Tuesday. We're getting some brisk north winds here and the strong northerly winds down the coastline. You can kind of see them turn offshore by the time we get towards Wednesday morning and across some of the desert areas. And again, we'll just watch that up in the future to see what kind of event that is going to be. Taking a look at total snow Kuchera ratio. This is a North American high resolution model. So I'm about 1 o'clock right here. There's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 p.m. You can definitely see you're going to have trouble getting back and forth across the Sierra Nevada through the day today. And you might want to even take off Sunday as well. Probably Monday is going to be a better day for travel as they get all the roads cleared up there and whatnot. But yeah, interesting weather here. We got some winter weather activity on through early May, and add to that snowpack, we will definitely take it. If I scroll through here, you can see Sunday morning, a little bit of snow shows up for some of the transverse ranges here, maybe down towards the peninsular ranges, a little bit of snowfall, and some snowfall for the higher terrain of Nevada as well. Now, taking a look at total precipitation in inches, I'm going to run through this fairly quickly because I've been showing this the last few days. Not much has changed. 2/3 of an inch for the Bay Area, higher amounts across some of the Sierra Nevada. A lot of this rain has already fallen here across some of Northwest California also. And again, you can kind of see that a little bit of precipitation hanging on across Southern California. But as we go through the extended, you can see we really start to dry out here. So we're going to be jumping right back into some drier conditions as we go through this upcoming week. Now, taking a look at the 24-hour 2-meter temperature change, this is at the surface. This is yesterday afternoon's European model run here. Some of these drops are exceeding 30 degrees in a 24-hour period, so you're definitely feeling that today. And you can kind of see that swoop down across much of the southwest as we go on in through tomorrow as well. Look at some of these temperature drops in Nevada, 30-plus degrees also. And then we start to roll on in towards next week, and you can clearly see the warm-up that'll be coming here, a little bit of a whiplash effect here as we go back through Monday and we start to warm things right quite dramatically so as we go through next week. This is the GFS, same thing here. Clearly, the models are in agreement short term, and then as we go on and through Sunday, you can see the big temperature drops affecting portions of Southern California and Nevada, Utah, Arizona as well. Now, looking at the national blended models, this is for today. Huge temperature drops. Again, look at this only topping out in some of the upper 50s, mid 50s here for some areas. And then Sunday, you can kind of see even the desert areas have been cooled down. No 90s. They're showing up in the national blended models for tomorrow. And by the time we go back into Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you can see that climb back out as we get back into the mid and upper 80s for a lot of the valley areas, and the deserts really start to ramp back up on the heat. Some 90s showing up for Bakersfield there as well. And again, we'll see how strong that offshore component may get as we go through next week also. And this is the average temperature departure from average as we go through the year so far. That's from January 1st. Kind of a mixed bag for California here. Nothing too extreme. A little bit of some areas above and some below as far as temperature is concerned. And precipitation doing quite well again across California. We are drought free right now. Some of the desert areas are a little bit abnormally dry here, but they don't get that much precipitation out there, as you know, so it doesn't take that much of a deficit to make this percentage look a little bit skewed here. But some areas of Arizona are doing pretty well, but some areas in New Mexico not so hot. And this is the entire state. Right now we are at about 129%, so we should be adding to that over the next couple of days. That'll be nice to see. And this is something known as experimental composite drought indicator, short-term percentiles. And you can see that much of the Southwest is doing quite well. It's abnormally wet, moderate wet, and severely wet here across much of the region. So that's a good thing here for the fire season coming up. The only downside to that is a lot of vegetation can grow in that time. So then if we dry out rapidly, that could potentially become fuel for some fires. And there's also a long-term one as well. And you can kind of see that here. I've zoomed in, but you can see some exceptionally wet here across much of California and Nevada. That's really nice to see. We've really reaped the benefits here of some of these wetter systems the last couple of years, and it's showing up here in the long-term composite drought indicator. And this, again, is a short term. I've zoomed in on that one as well. So we are doing quite well across much of the state. At the very worst, there's some very small areas of abnormally dry. So yeah, I wouldn't worry about that too much out there. Pacific Northwest not doing too hot for Western Washington there. But yeah, California, bask in this glory here because we are doing quite well as far as water is concerned. Now, yeah, so this is quite a nice satellite imagery here. You got to remember this one because summertime is not far away and we're going to start ramping up these temperatures. But anyway, hope you guys get out there and a chance to enjoy some of this wet weather here. And again, watch your travel here across some of the Sierra Nevada over the next few days. It's going to be difficult, winter driving conditions and some high winds across much of the state as we go on into tomorrow as well. But anyway, hope you guys are liking these videos. Click like and subscribe. We'll do this again tomorrow and I will talk to you guys then.